This is a tutorial video of the Amazon Sourcer, a Google Sheet that automatically finds sources of Amazon products and helps you calculate profit. Now, in a previous video, I had left off showing you how to actually generate a products list by clicking this Generate Products List button, which copies these Amazon products and its corresponding sources, and it has multiple sources on each row, and it then copies it over here and creates a list of those products with each source on a separate row with the Amazon ASINs that match each source, right? So the different Amazon, different sources that go with each Amazon ASIN, okay? Now here's the thing. What I did not mention is that in Google Sheets, when you start a function such as a generate products list, which is actually a macro, it has a limited amount of time for which it will run. If it keeps running, after a while, you'll get this message: exceeded maximum execution time. It has exceeded the amount of time that it will run continuously. Now, the issue with this is that we're not actually done generating the products list. How do I know that? Well, because the last source row that was copied is row 72. By the way, I think this color is too dark versus the color of the text. Let me put that back how I had it on the previous version. So we can see that the last source row is 72. However, the last ASIN row is 557. All right, and the last row of sources 557. Okay, so it has a long way to go. So anyway, the point is here, well, how do we solve this problem? Okay, so what I'm going to do is show you actually, for one, now if you look at the details, it shows you the same thing. You can just click on dismiss to get rid of that message. That's one thing. The other thing is that with this particular function, you just click on generate products list again. Okay, you just click on it and you'll see that it will pick up from where it left off automatically. And that's because the way I set up this particular macro, this function, is that it reads where it has its progress of where it left off right here on the screen, on the sheet, I should say. And so it just reads it right off of the sheet. Okay, and you can see right here, it's just going to continue from where it left off and just keep producing the list. And that is what we see down here, right? It will just keep producing, continuing to generate the list. Now it will again stop eventually, right? It will run for a while and at some point it will stop. By the way, these buttons, you can right click them. Buttons kind of move around in Google Sheets. In Excel they don't, but in Google Sheets they do. You can use the right click on the mouse button and just drag them over. It's a little annoying, but you can do that just to move them over when they move to an undesirable location. And I'm just going to pull this bar at the bottom back over to the right so I can get back over to the right. Now, I'm going to show you the solution where you don't have to keep waiting for it to stop and click generate products list over and over. You're going to need this when you have a long list of products. So the solution is we go to extensions on the menu and then apps script. You open the project. For some reason on this file, particular sheet, I have multiple of those. Just click the one that says Amazon Sourcer 1.7, obviously. Okay, and all right, this is the code. Now, we're not touching the code. Rather, we're going to click on this clock, which says triggers. Triggers allow us to tell the Google Sheet to run a macro on a time interval. So here in the lower right-hand corner, I will click on add trigger. And then there will be a list of all the different macros or functions in the code. Now, for this one, we're going to look for generate products list. I hope I made it all caps. So it might be in all caps. I've made it my habit more recently to use all caps for macros. They're just easier to identify, to locate. So here's generate product list. That is the one that you want. Generate product list. That is the function that you want to run. Then you're going to choose the deployment. It should run. Yeah, head, that's fine. And then the event source is not from spreadsheet. It is timer. Okay, I'll show you that. Time driven, rather. So it is based on time. Now, you're not going to do it in hours. You're going to make the interval in minutes. And I always go with 30 for something like this because I have found, depending on the amount of delay that is in the macro, the function, it could take up to 30 minutes. So you have to use the larger amount of time because you don't want it to start another one before it finishes the one it's doing right now. So you're going to say every 30 minutes, okay, and then click save. So it's gonna run generate product list every 30 minutes. Okay, you click on save, and you're going to see that trigger. By the way, don't forget about this trigger because later on when you're done, you might go about your business, continue using the spreadsheet, forget, and you have this trigger, and they never stop running. Okay, they literally run 24/7. So when you are done, meaning the list is finished generating, when you come back sometime later and it's finished generating, you can come right back over here to extensions app script. That is how I got here, extensions app script. Click on these three dots and just click on delete trigger, and it will just delete it. That way it doesn't keep running, and you can always create another one. Okay, so that is how that works. So you don't have to use that function of the trigger function because you don't have to use it for the sourcing because I already built it into the sourcing start and continue automatically. I did not do that for generate products list on this version, and perhaps that I might just go ahead and add that where you don't have to go and make the trigger yourself. But for right now, if you're using it right now, just go ahead and add the trigger. If you have a long list and you don't want to have to keep coming back to restart the generate, just go ahead and add a trigger. It will keep generating the list, and it will keep working because it knows where it left off right over here. Okay, so it works for functions. Any function where any macro where it knows how to pick up on its own and continue, you don't have to tell it go here or go there. It will just keep doing it. It will just keep running on its own automatically once you set the trigger. Okay, so generate will just keep running. When you're done and you want, well, really I shouldn't say this, but if you don't want your list anymore and you want to erase it completely and start over from scratch, which you should only do that if for some reason you just really don't want the list, then you would click on reset products list. It will delete the whole products list. Well, not the formulas, but it'll delete the part that you added, the Amazon data part and the sources. And it will also clear out where it won't know where it left off. It'll start over. It's going to start over, and then you can start generating again from scratch. Just so you know, you can do that with reset, just so you know how to do that. Okay, so that is it. I needed to explain and show you how to do that, how to continue the generate. So you see it just stopped, right? That I pressed it another time, right, when the video first started, right? And that one stopped. And now this one's not going to start yet until, because being that I was explaining it, I took a long time to do it. So it's, so it will start eventually and then it will continue, right? So that's basically it. It will continue in a few minutes. It will start running again, and it will keep doing that until it reaches the last row, and you will have a complete products list. And once I have that, I will be able to make another video where there will be another video where I will discuss getting in the supplier data and eventually, of course, looking at the profits on the sheet, calculating profits and things like that. And that is it. I'm Mr. Mark, and if you want to contact me, you can contact me directly. Find my information in the description of this video. If you want to copy this sheet, you can do that as well. If you haven't seen the previous videos that led up to this point, this should all be on one single playlist. Okay, all these tutorials of the Amazon Sourcer, it's like an Amazon Sourcer playlist. You should be able to go back and see those videos. There might even be links somewhere in my description of the video. Okay, so just go ahead and always just check the description for links. Check the description for links. All right, and that's basically what I have to say. Comments, questions, or suggestions, leave them below. Mr. Mark, look forward to hearing from you or seeing you around on the channel.